Hi guys, road to 1000 subscribers. We are just at 270. If you haven't pressed the subscribe button, do press the subscribe button in order to continue, because it is definitely the best way that you can support this channel. So guys, the hustle is real. Doing YouTube is so hard. So I've been pushing myself so hard over the last month. Besides trying to make a video and post it daily. Obviously there's all the other aspects of my life, like with career, family, self-care, all the other stuff that you have to do. I literally hit burnout, and yeah, I've been MIA for a really long time. But remember, people who get it right, it's not that they get it right because they never fail. They get it right because they don't give up. Yeah, so if you must forget everything you've learned on this channel, make sure not to forget this one. It doesn't matter how many times you fall down. All that matters is how many times you get back up. So today I had planned to edit some stuff and shoot some stuff and try to catch up with some work with my project manager. Catch up with some work that I needed to do with my project manager. Yeah, and I had also promised myself to shoot. So, you know how you make your plan and then your body makes its own plan? Guys, I was totally burnt out. I had zero energy. So I was like, okay, let me just go take a little. So I went to try and have a little nap. I couldn't sleep because my brain was overthinking. Anyway, so while I was laying low, trying to rest and, try to bring up my energy, my bestie in another country far, far away called to check in. And yeah, there I was laying in a pile, so sad. And they're like, what's up? And I was like, I was not feeling so good. And they tried to cheer me up. And then they showed me how to do some exercise. Yeah, to help with releasing stress and like helping you stretch out your back muscles. Because I have scoliosis. One of the reasons I'm on this channel I'm on this journey with Tales by Africa, is to create awareness about scoliosis. It's a deformity that's on your backbone, causing it to bend in a direction it shouldn't bend. The cause is idiopathic. That means that there's no scientific known cause for it. It's something you're just born with. Anyway, so my bones are really painful. So my bestie said that there's some exercises that can help me out with. So I was like, what exercises? And they're like, don't worry, I'll show you. My trainer shows me. I was like, okay, cool. So they talked me through it, and they showed me how to like stretch and release the tension in my back just by using my hands to touch my toes. Yeah. So I felt so much better. I had some energy. I was like, okay, fine. Let me go chase my dreams, So I got my hair done. I picked out an outfit. I got my journal that's guiding me on this journey. I set up the equipment, set up the light, opened the windows because I like to balance it with sunlight with a ring light. Yeah. Then I started shooting. And then guess what happened? Someone in the neighborhood started cutting their grass. And this time it was much, much, much closer to my bedroom window. So there was like no way I could record. Anyway, so finally they stopped. And then I started recording. Yeah. And then I usually just do like a few dry runs to try and get myself acclimated with the camera. So as I was recording, I noticed I hadn't even done my earrings again. Let me do that real quick. I'm back. So, some earrings. Just, like this one. They're clip-ons. My ears aren't pierced. Oh, hope you didn't see anything. Okay. And then now there goes the bad. Anyway, so I got ready, and then finally, when I was finally rolling, guess what happened? Electricity went off. Yeah, like, yo, anyway. So thank God it got back in under 10 minutes. So here I am. Let's do this, guys. Thanks for coming. Road to 1,000 subscribers. In case you haven't yet subscribed, do hit the subscribe button. So let's get started. Guys, look what I made. Look what I made. Can you see? Let me get closer. Can you see? Yeah, some samosas. So I'm having a break. So I'm super hungry. I'm going to have some samosas and a cup of tea just to help me calm down before I start talking. Thanks for coming, guys. Nice. Today's tea is it has vanilla, and I squeezed in some lemon as well. It tastes so good. So if you're a tea company and you like to advertise, I love tea, and I won't be mentioning names until I get sponsorship. Anyway, so tea culture and samosas is really, really like common in Africa. Let me put this down. Right. So samosas are a very common snack in East Africa. East Africa is made up of Uganda, Kenya, Tanzania. Those are the founding members of East Africa, the East African Union. Then the new entrants are Rwanda, Burundi, and South Sudan. So yeah, we are the East African community, and yeah, we're going to do big things with the right leadership.
In the East African community around that time, in Uganda we had Dr. Apollo Metronobota, Jomo Kenyatta of Kenya, and Tanzania at that time they had Mwalimu Julius Nyerere. So they played a big role in the development of the dairy networks in East Africa. And these are the routes, the places the trains could cover to different places. And at that time, yes, we will have a passport that's for East African community. At that time, also the trains were free. Someone could travel from here to Kenya without passport. Yeah, without a passport, and then you can come back, and then a Kenyan citizen can come and
United together, we're going to definitely going to go super far. Yeah. Anyway, so a very common snack in East Africa is the samosas. Yeah. And in today's episode, I'm going to show you how to make samosas. So did you know? Okay, samosas are a very common place in East Africa. Uganda, Kenya, Tanzania, Rwanda, Burundi, and South Sudan. But they're not that bad. But samosas are not originally from Africa, yeah? So why is it that a snack that's originally from Asia, from the Indian subcontinent, why is it that it's so common in East Africa? Time for a little history lesson. So way back in the 1800s, before all of us were born, maybe even before our parents, and definitely before our parents, even our grandparents, definitely before them. Did you hear the train? Yeah, by the way, the train in Kampala has started working, and I am really, really excited about it. I can't wait to try it out. Also the one in Kenya and the one in Tanzania. So where was I? Yeah, so way back in the 1800s, when Britain was a world superpower, yeah, they were going all over the world, finding places to conquer and places to like colonize. Yeah. like just exert authority. Yeah, and also to get raw materials for their industries because they had already industrialized. So some of the continents that were patronized by our colonizers, by the colonizers, were so some of the places that were top tier hot cake during the days of colonization were India, the Indian subcontinent, and lots of different parts of Asia and Africa. So the colonization thing happened first in India, in the Indian area, before it happened in the African area. Yeah? Because, long story. Okay, I'm going to try and get some pictures and add them in, although it might be difficult to get pictures without limitation for copyright, so I might leave that out if I don't find them. Anyway, so the colonizers, the British colonizers, had been in Asia before they came to Africa, and they had a long duration of time in the Indian subcontinent. Yeah, so this means that they had trained manpower in terms of skilled and semi-skilled, semi-professional manpower. Yeah, because they've been there longer, they had manpower that they had trained to do different kinds of tasks. Yeah, so when they came to Africa, when the colonizer came to Africa, Africa was called the Dark Continent. I don't know why. Anyway, so when they came to Africa, what happened was, because Africa is really rich in natural resources, and the weather is really good, and the soil is really fertile, there's like jungles everywhere, and lots of vegetation, yeah? And the population was way, 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 way much smaller than it is today, yeah? And at the time, there really was hardly any... So at the time, there was really hardly any infrastructure. What's infrastructure? Infrastructure is like roads, railways, communications, things like that, yeah? So in today's case study, it's railways, yeah? So in order to carry the raw materials that the colonizer had gotten from the interior of Africa, to be able to ship them to the coast, so that way, at the coast, they'll be able to transport the raw material by the use of shipping vessels. Yeah? So the raw material was obviously very heavy. Yeah? Because imagine you're carrying like tons and tons and tons of gold, you know? Tons and tons and tons of like tobacco, tons and tons. Those birds. So imagine you're carrying like tons and tons of like timber, of trees you've cut down that you're going to be using to make furniture in Europe. All this raw material is obviously very, very heavy. Yeah. And at the time they didn't have like trailers. Yeah. So they had to use railing systems and shipping vessels. So to get the raw material from the interior of Africa and take it to the ports, so they'll be loaded on shipping vessels and taken to Europe for processing and manufacturing. I think my channel should be called Tales by Africa by Mercy and the Wild Birds. Anyway, where was I? Yeah. So to carry the raw material from the interior of Africa to get it to the seaside ports in order for it to be shipped, yeah, the colonizers needed to have railways so that they could have trains, locomotives to be able to carry the raw material from the interior of Africa to the seaports, yeah. So construction of railing systems is quite technical. It's quite technical work. Like to have people you've trained to be able to do that technical stuff. So there's like the colonizers who are supervising the project, and then there's the trained staff members, and then there's the laborers. Yeah. So I guess who the supervisors were. The supervisors were the colonizers. So guess who they were using to do the actual technical work on the ground? They were using people that they had already trained while they were colonizing the Indian subcontinent. Yeah, because they'd already invested in training them this skill. This meant that they were ready to do the job. So they went to India and they got some of the locals from India, and they moved them to Africa to be able to do that work. Yeah. So this is how we have in the East African region. This is why we don't only have one race. Like Ugandans are not only like African indigenous people, but we also have Ugandan Indians. We also have Kenyan Indians. We also have like Tanzanian Indians. Yeah, this is because their ancestors, like their grandparents, were brought here to help with the construction of the railway. Yeah. So after the construction was done, so after the construction was done, many of them loved life in Africa, so they decided to make this their new home. Yeah. So, Africans are super loving and welcoming. They let them stay. And eventually, they integrated into the communities and started sharing their culture. So this is how the recipe for samosas ended up coming into Africa. And now it's literally a household name. You also find other meals such as chapati. Yeah, chapati also originates from India, but it's also part of our local cuisine here in East Africa. Yeah, so that's how in East Africa we end up having samosa as a household snack. So I hope you've enjoyed today's lesson in history. And now let's go off and I'll show you how to make those samosas. Thanks for coming, guys. Don't forget to subscribe. Come along. Come. Let's go make samosas.
These are the tragedies that happened and they really affected the government and the dairy networks. For example, around 1963, an accident happened. So a train was coming from Canada and it went off the tracks and it exploded and 2 people lost their lives.
Oh no.
And in 1972, it is remembered, that is the period Idi Amin, who was the president of Uganda, expelled the Asians from Uganda, and those were the second class. Them being expelled, it led the economy to collapse. And then Ugandans didn't know how to operate at that time trains. And then the floods, this is how they affected the stations. And there was no renovation that can be done at that time. Like this station could be revived.
Which stations were these?
For example, Masindi, Butiaba, and Namasagari.
Oh wow.
Got some flooded water around 1962, floods came and they hit most of the stations. So all the stations that are located So we charge entrance 5,000 per person, a native adult, 2,000 per child, a native child, and then foreigners, that is $18,000, $5, and then children $3, that is 10,000, and members of East African community, adults, we charge them 10,000, and then children 5,000. That is our risk.
All right, thank you so much.
Yeah.